What's going on, everybody? It's Tony and
Tiana,
and we're gonna talk to you guys about our love story.
Yes, we're gonna tell you guys how we met and how we fell in love.
Love, 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 long as we got love, love, love.
So I met Tiana in, I believe, 2012. We met at a young adults Bible study called The Uprising, and I knew of her, and I've seen her obviously, but I didn't really was interested at the time. Obviously, we didn't really start. Well, I mean, we both became interested at different times. Last year, 2017, I was definitely interested in her, probably like halfway through the year, but I wasn't trying to talk to her because I knew she didn't really want to be in a relationship at the time. So it was more so just being friends and just growing our friendship. And we go to the same church, so we built we built our friendship during time spent at church, during time after church. We
went out a couple times though.
Yeah, and then
without
we also,
like as friends.
Yeah, and then we went out, especially like I think like when we went to LA to like different open mics.
I wasn't talking about that, but
oh, okay.
Someone when you took me to breakfast.
Yeah, that was as friends.
Yeah, remember at Love Week?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We went and we did this outreach at our church called Love Week for like Valentine's Day, and for a solid week they have different outreach programs or things that you can sign up for. So we signed up for the same one, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we were at the train station, and we were like, what were we giving people? Candy or something?
I mean, we gave them like a goodie bag. A goodie bag,
yeah. But with hot chocolate and stuff in it.
Yeah,
I remember that. So we gave a goodie bag, and while we were there, he asked me if I wanted to go get food. And we were friends, and I said yeah. So we went to IHOP, and we were talking and eating. Yeah,
I know we got a picture. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's one of my favorite pictures. With it's on our Instagram somewhere, where we did that outreach together. And yeah.
Then this is whenever people were telling me that you liked me, but I didn't like you, and I didn't think you liked me. I thought you were just being friends. No, listen, I thought you were just being like a nice person, I guess. When me, you, and Erica was in that group chat, and we were talking about going to the spa, and you said you had an extra spa ticket or something like that, and you took me to the spa.
Oh yeah.
Did you like me then?
Yeah, I think like I said, I mean, initially it was just friends, and like I said, I wasn't really trying because I knew she wasn't, but then it came to a point where it was like, even though I knew she wasn't trying to be in a relationship, I was just at least trying to show her that I was interested, just to see if something would happen. So yes, I was still genuinely just being nice and being me, but on some occasions it would be a little extra where I would want to treat her because I liked her. So yeah, I think taking her to the spa.
This man took me to the spa, and I remember you told me that you cooked food, and you asked me if I wanted to eat too, and I told you no. But you told me you had made food and everything, and I was like, oh no, like I just turned down the food part, but I think it's because I was doing the boot camp and there was only certain things I could eat. But I know you took me to the spa, and I enjoyed myself, and we went it wasn't like a couple spa thing, it was like separate rooms. And I remember I was telling my friend Lisha at the time, and she was like, girl, that's a date. And I was like, no, he's just being nice. And she was like, get your life.
Yeah, I think Big Mike was telling me too. He was like, well, you took her to the spa? And he was like, was that a date? I said, no, bro, I was just being nice.
I know, but we didn't tell nobody though.
Yeah.
So.
I told Mike.
Well, meaning like it wasn't like a post on the gram friend type thing.
No, yeah. So after, well, I don't know if she was interested at the time yet, but I know Big Mike and Marcus was. Marcus
is my little brother. Because I'm agreeing. Marcus is my little brother, and then Mike is my best friend Christiana's husband. What'd you say?
I said she always tried to be extra on the parts when I be like she wasn't interested at the time.
I wasn't interested.
Yeah, but she tried to put her little Was
I wasn't checking
now?
for you. I'm very much so interested now.
So Marcus and Mike, they kept bugging me about basically, you know, trying to talk to Tiana. And Marcus and Michael, her brothers, were really adamant about, like, man, we would, you know, love to have you as a brother. And we weren't even, Tiana and I weren't even talking at the time yet. So they were already rooting for us, or like basically saying like how they would want, you know, me to be with their sister, because they just knew how good of a person or guy I was, you know, how I would treat their sister pretty well. And so yeah, then after that, then Easter came around, and then after like our Easter extravaganza with our church, Mike and Bug called me, and they were basically...
Marcus is Bug. Bug is Marcus.
Oh yeah, Marcus. So Marcus and Mike called me, or Big Mike, because I mean, if I say Mike, yeah. And then there's
I have a brother. I have 4 brothers: Mark, Matthew, Michael, and Marcus. And then my best friend Christiana's husband's name is Michael as well, but we call him Big Mike. Just so people don't get confused.
I'm the best friend, by the way.
He's my best friend, best guy friend.
Nah, well, Apostle Man said there's only one best friend, so she's gonna have a lot of good girlfriends, but I'm her only best friend, so that'll change later. But like I was saying, Big Mike and Marcus had called me, and they basically were just like hyping me up, or like telling me, hey, you should talk to Tiana, you know, and basically, you know, ask her out, or, you know, and I was just like, well, I don't know, because I mean, I'm not finna try to, because at that time I was just like really not trying to talk to, because I think, what happened? Well, basically, I didn't really want to talk to someone who I feel that wasn't interested in me too, because I remember I even like posted a post one time talking about if there's no interest, then there's no invest. So it's like, you know, just because throughout the history of my life, you know, just the way if I was ever interested in trying to pursue someone, it was more so like a one-sided deal. So I kind of stopped doing that, and I didn't really want to invest my time or energy into pursuing Tiana if I already knew she didn't want to be in a relationship, or, you know, or I didn't know if she liked me or not at the time. So yeah.
So they were calling me too, and I remember they FaceTimed me together and told me that they said these exact words, because his last name is Pow Pow, and so everyone calls him Pow. So they were like, Pal's gonna be your husband. And I almost spit my food out because it was so random, and I was like, the hell, like, what are y'all talking about? And I was laughing, and I remember I like was texting Christiana like, get your husband, like, y'all tripping. And they were laughing and saying how they were talking about it like all day or whatever, and I was just like, what the heck? And I just like put it out of my mind, just like out of mind, out of sight. And I kept going on living my life. And then I think a week later they brought it up again, and this time like Christiana like was looking on social media and found that picture we took at church.
Which one?
The one with the beard. Yeah. And
our very first picture, like the one with,
yeah, I'm wearing like gray or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, like a short
my curly hair.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And so she sent me a picture, and she was like, because you didn't have your beard at the time.
Yeah. And
she sent me a picture of you with the beard. And I remember looking at the picture and we were like, hey. So then we started working together. We would ride together. It was in Newport. Yeah, Newport Beach. So we were driving like an hour and a half one way. So we had like about 3 hour drive technically, each night to like talk. So I remember we would catch up, we would talk, we would like argue about certain stuff. Yeah. And we would just like, we just kind of got to know each other during that time. And I remember the first time I like saw you as like potential. We were having a conversation. I think it was the day we were singing Beyonce.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, because I think you were missing some of the things that we talked about.
No, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff.
But we were talking about just like our families and how we wanted to like be different, and, or how we wanted to raise our own families and different stuff. And then I remember we were driving home from work that night, and I put on Beyonce and we started singing. Yeah.
I think that's one of the highlights, because I remember also there was another time, like I said, at this time we were just friends, and I wasn't doing this gesture out of like just because I was trying to get points or anything, but there was a time where we were going to work and Tiana was actually like really sick, and and she was like, she would always be cold all the time, and I'm always hot all the time. So just out of sacrifice because of like her health, like I would always ask her like, if she's cold, let me know, then I'll turn the heater on, or you know, roll the windows up. But I remember one time she was actually like really sick, like, you know, one of those where she's aching, and you know, some people like when they say they be like moaning and they saying stuff, I'm like, you all right? And then but I think what happened was she didn't ask, but I just took my jacket off.
Wait, let me tell the story, because it's better. It's not better, but it's like more than that.
Wow.
So I was sick, and I'm about my money, so I don't like to be calling off like and losing money unless I know I'm gonna get money while I'm calling off. I was like, no. So I was sick, but I went to work still, and I was okay. I didn't think I would be that sick, but when I got there, like I got worse for some reason. And then the post or the station that they had me at, I was interacting with a lot of people, and so I didn't feel comfortable because I was sneezing and stuff. And so I pretty much asked if I could be switched to work outside, basically, so I wouldn't have to come in contact with people so much. So they put me outside, but it's freaking freezing. And so I'm outside and I'm cold now. And I remember, like, was it you who got me the heater? Or you had somebody bring me a heater?
Yeah.
That one guy?
Yeah, I mean, I brought everything out there for you.
So basically, I was standing outside in the cold. This man brought me like electronic heater. He got me some tea. He went and got me, you got medicine too, didn't you? Or
yeah, I think from the market.
From the market, he went and got me some medicine. He had like all the waiters coming and checking on me, and like everybody was bringing me their own version, like their favorite tea, like pretty much. Like I had,
she was soaking it all in.
Listen, and everybody was making jokes like, how the heck, like no one's ever gotten treated like this. Yeah. And because he was taking care of me. And then when the lounge ends, we usually have about an hour to clear out, and he let me go to sleep in his car while they cleared out, and I still got paid too, so I was really happy because I was like, I ain't trying to.
That online.
Yes, I can. Don't nobody know where. But so he let me go to sleep in his car, and I remember I woke up. We were driving home, and I woke up, and you put your jacket over me. And he put his jacket over me, and I remember I woke up because he had his hand on my shoulder and you were praying. And I felt so awkward because I was like, oh crap, like what the heck. But when I woke up, I felt better. Like I felt good. Like it was really weird. Like I sat straight up, I took the jacket off, and when he dropped me off at my house, and I just said thank you. Oh no, I was like, I feel better. He goes, I prayed. And,
felt awkward.
No, I did feel awkward. I felt awkward.
Oh.
I felt awkward because like that's something I never forgot. Like, and at the time I didn't like you, so I felt awkward because I feel like I was starting to like you, basically. And
see,
so
that's a good explanation because it's just two different types of awkward.
You're right. So I'm sorry. You're right. So I felt awkward because it was like, oh crap, like this man's praying for me. He took like damn good care of me, and like, and he's in the car sweating, got the heat on, like he had the heat on, a jacket on me and everything. He was like sweating his butt off, and I knew he was hot all the time. And then when I like sat straight, when I woke up, I felt better. So he dropped me off at the house, and I remember I just like thanked you. I was like thanks, and I got out the car. And I remember I went in the house, and I like was thinking about it, and I was just like, wait.
Was there, right?
Yeah, I think, okay, yeah. So I went in the house.
Cause I think that's when you told him.
And I told my little brother, and I was like, hey. And my little brother has been rooting for us like since before I even liked him. And so I went to my little brother, and he stayed with me at the time. And I was like, hey, I was like, don't get excited. And he looks at me, and I was like, but I was like,
didn't he already know, or you started getting excited already?
Yeah, like I was like, don't get excited. And he like sat straight up, and I looked at him, and I was like, I think I said something like, I don't like him, but I can see why you would like us for each other, or something like that. And my little brother got so excited, he picked me up and like swung me around the room screaming at the top of his lungs. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, Marcus, put me down. And he was so hyped. And I remember when I went to bed that night, I just like couldn't really get you out my mind. Like I was just like, what the heck?
Oh shoot.
It's like that was the nicest thing. No, cause like you were really a gentleman, and on top of it, like this man, like the whole time we've been working together, he was always paying for my food. Like he was always making. Boy, bye. So he was always paying for my food. He was paying for my food, and he always just like made me feel safe, pretty much. And so I remember like he would pay for my food, and I'm kind of like a brat, so yeah. A part of me feels like I'll pay for this girl. You supposed to, kind of, even though you're not.
Girl, what you gonna pay for your?
And so
I didn't mind paying for her food, but I was like.
No, but I kind of got used to it. I kind of got used to it. Because we were driving separately. So at this time, I lived in LA, he lived out this way. And so we drove 2 different directions at this point. So we weren't riding in the same car anymore. And so we both decided to go to Del Taco after work. And he went in front of me and he ordered his food. I went and ordered my food. And by the time I got up to the window, the cashier told me he paid for my food. And so I was just like, okay. Something's up. Because it made sense for him to pay for my food if I was in the car. At least to me it did. But with me not being in the car, I was like, what's really going on?